Do you want me to start like right now?
Yeah, just start whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah, sure. Hi, I'm FanOfFilms, world famous online creator, and I have an irrational fear of Stuart Little. It all started on my 8th birthday when, as a birthday gift, I received a copy of Stuart Little on DVD. That night I watched the movie, and while watching it there were so many emotions that I was just feeling at the time. Anger, fear, and a lot of confusion. I was just puzzled by the fact that this couple decided to adopt a literal mouse, something that they could just get at a pet store, rather than an actual human child. I just had a hard time comprehending what it all meant. Now months went by and this obsession that I had became dangerous, where I saw him, I saw visions of Stuart Little, and I didn't know what was real and what wasn't anymore. Thankfully, I got the help that I needed, and the visions that I once had of Stuart Little slowly disappeared. Until last year. Now, for the last year, I've been trying to live my normal life with my normal family that consists of 32 guinea pigs that are also secret agents. And while I've been doing this, he appears. He haunts me every day where I least expect it. And I don't know how to stop it and what to do. I don't know what his goal is, but if it's to psychologically damage me, it's working. I just want it to stop.
Hey! Doing a dramatic grand entrance for no reason whatsoever. But we're back in business, and today's business that we're talking about is Stuart Little. And you might be familiar with Stuart and his movies that he's worked on, Stuart Little 1 and Stuart Little 2 Electric Boogaloo. And people like to say that Stuart is the hero of these films, and I would like to say to these people that they are wrong. That's right, because Stuart is actually the villain of both these movies. Because Stuart is in fact emotionally manipulative and gaslights everybody in the film, and he just takes advantage of everyone, and yet he's just too powerful, and he just can't keep getting away with this. So that's why I have to initiate a plan in order to stop Stuart Little. And don't worry, this is just a simple plan. I'm definitely not just going over the top. It's not crazy whatsoever. Now, I think we can all agree that Stuart is not your average mouse. He has cool clothes, he can drive cool cars, he can drive planes, he can do literally anything that he wants. So, in order to kill Stuart Little, we can't just use basic mouse traps and other things that would kill a normal mouse, because Stuart is in fact more powerful than a human, let alone a mouse. So, in order to do that, we need to find Stuart Little's Achilles heel. Because no matter how hard it might be to find it, because it's so small, because he's a little mouse, so the heel of a mouse, that's really tiny. So it's going to be really hard to find his Achilles heel. So that's why we need to go through Stuart Little 1 and 2 to find out what were Stuart's breaking points and what things can we use to our advantage to kill him. So that's why we're gonna start a list. So as you probably already know, Stuart is in fact an orphan, which we're already at a bad start, because in every single movie and TV show, all the orphans are extremely powerful, because all that vented up childhood trauma, that's gonna cause some like extreme damage. And the adoption center lady warns the Little family that Stuart, he's too powerful. Are you sure you want to take this mouse in? Are you sure you want to take this guy? You sure you want to take that guy? And the Little family decides to adopt Stuart, who is in fact a mouse rather than an actual child. At the orphanage, they don't even give the other children a chance because Stuart manipulates them. He's like, yeah, you probably want an actual child. No one picks a mouse.
I mean, let's face it, not everyone wants to adopt someone like me.
That's just the first that we see of Stuart's emotional manipulation that he forces onto other people. And a lot of people in these movies fall for Stuart Little's little gaslighting, manipulating traps that he places in front of them. But the one person who at the start doesn't believe in Stuart's tactics is George, his other brother. Because at the start of the film, George just looks at Stuart and he's like, hey, I'm not impressed. You're a mouse.
George, this is Stuart, your new brother.
No, really.
After he takes a look at Stuart, he goes to his room, which looks like he's running into a wall. So George is just so disappointed that he runs himself into a wall. And while George is running into some walls, Stuart is running into some problems. Oh no, that's terrible for Stuart, because that's right, he's in a washing machine. He got stuck in a washing machine. That's so bad. But that's a great way that we can kill him. Or I thought that was a good way to kill him, because as we find out, Stuart is just an unmatched, powerful god who can literally survive anything. He survives swallowing a bottle of laundry detergent and somehow gets out of it. So because Stuart is newly adopted, the Little family decides to bring over the Little family, the extended edition, over to have, a little get-together, meet the son, who they just didn't tell them that it's a mouse. They're probably expecting a human because they literally bought him a bike, and they're like, well, what are we going to do now? So they can't return the bike. So they're like, well, Stuart, I guess you have to ride the bike. And George is like, well, what do I get? And it's like, no, you don't get a bike. Are you a mouse? No. So here's a rock. And this is just another example of how Stuart can easily turn people against other people, as everyone in the Little family now resents George. And you might be thinking, well, does George resent Stuart now? No, because Stuart pretends to get mauled by a train, and then George gives him a car. Like it normally works. And because Stuart is a self-centered prick who just wants everything that he sees George's boat, and he's like, well, can I have that now? And George is like, no, sorry, it's for a boat race. And Stuart's like, cool. So the next day when they're doing the boat race, Stuart takes the remote for the boat and just breaks it on purpose, because his whole plan all along was actually to flee the country. However, Stuart ran into a problem because the boat starts sinking, so he just had to win the race. So now everyone loves Stuart, so now Stuart's ego is just extremely boosted to the max. He is at an all-time high for his powers. The only person that's worried about what Stuart can do next is the cat in the film, Snowball, who is the family cat in the film, and he doesn't like Stuart because he's embarrassed that he has to live with a mouse. And he can't eat him or else he'll get kicked out of the house. So he can't contact Garfield, because Garfield, he's cool with mice. So honestly, my respect for Garfield has decreased. So Snowball goes to the next best option, which is the cat mob boss.
Smokey, it's me Monty.
What is it now?
Which that's a great idea, honestly. To kill Stuart Little, boom. Because with the cat mob boss, there comes the cat mob, which is great because swarm of just Italian cats pouncing on Stuart Little. He's not going to suspect that. So Snowball tells the cat Corleone that Stuart needs to be gone and needs to be whacked. And the cat Corleone is like, hey, Gabagoo. Yeah, I will kill Stuart. Yeah, I got you, man. That's what he says. I'm actually reading the script right now, just in case you're like, no, that's not. That's what he says, okay? Have you seen this movie 17 times within the last 48 hours? I didn't think so. So don't you dare question me. So the Godfather cat does his work, and then we find out that there's actually a rat in the cat mafia. rats, plural actually. Not snitches, but literal mice, a part of the cat mafia. So now my question is there like a mice mafia? And you might be thinking that I'm assuming too much, that this mouse isn't a part of the mice mafia. But do you see his Italian hand movements? He is 100% Italian. Do you see the way his hands are moving like that?
What's a mouse have to do to get a cab in this city?
Hey, what's a mouse gotta do to get a cab in the city? The reason that these Italian mice are placed here is not because Stuart's actually getting whacked, but because he's getting legally adopted by another couple. Now I'm just imagining if this took place in a more realistic New York City where cars and traffic is just everywhere. They're just like waving goodbye, and then just a taxi cab just boom, just clocks the whole like little Italian family out. Stuart is just like flat Stanley on the streets. They're just it's not a pretty sight. They're like, oh, okay, let's how about we actually adopt another son who's maybe a human this time. I'm not sure if you guys forgot, but Stuart Little's dad, he's Italian. Not sure if you forgot about that one. Did you forget? Because that's totally okay. But Stuart finds out the truth that these Italian parents, they're not his actual parents. They're just bribed to do so. And Stuart finds out the truth and is just devastated. So he just kills them. Yeah. So Stuart Little, fueled with rage, comes back to his actual home where the Littles have gone because they said, hey, we want to see where Stuart is. We're worried that he's going to do more damage. We want to calm him down.
That's right. They describe Stuart and offer a reward if anyone finds him.
So the only person in the house is Snowball, who we see for the first time in the film, someone who can take down Stuart Little, because that's right, Snowball emotionally manipulates Stuart Little, telling him about how the Little family actually doesn't love him and went out to replace him.
They were just so happy to get rid of you.
This is a start, let me just say. It's not the way to kill him, but I think if we use it to our advantage, maybe add something else, I think emotionally manipulating Stuart Little, that's going to come in handy. So Stuart is now emotionally frustrated with everything in his life, and he decides to take that out on the cat mob boss. That's right, he forces Snowball to watch his cat friends just drown. Now, Stuart is just on this killing spree, killing all the cats in the cat mafia. It's horrific to watch, honestly. Stuart comes back to the house with the actual Little family in the house, and he just goes on this fuel-filled rage. They're happy to see Stuart. They're trying to calm him down, but he says, you want to hear... So, let me just preface by saying, before I quote what happened in the movie, the extended family's there too, so like the brother of Bill Murray, he's there, and he's like, you want to hear a funny joke, brother of Bill Murray? You want to know what you get when you get a mouse and a society that abandons him? And then Stuart Little pulls out a gun. I didn't know he could use firearms. Apparently he can. And he's like, you get what you fucking deserve. Boom. Caps the brother of Bill Murray right in the head. I'm not sure why he specifically took out him, because the Little family, maybe he's just trying to show them a message that, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't replace me because I'll knock out your family. It's a hard-hitting message because he takes out the whole entire extended family of the Littles. And it's also really horrifying to watch. So just from that, I'm not really confident that we can kill this guy. Now, in Stuart Little 2, Stuart pays for his actions, but the people who are paying the most is the producers and the people who made this movie, because that's right, this movie costed $120 million to make. That might be not a lot of money right now, but in 2002, for some reason, they spent all this money on Stuart Little, too. Now, Stuart Little 2 starts out with Stuart's morning routine. He sucks the soul out of every single mouse in the New York City area, and then he eats breakfast because he has a big soccer game to go to. Is it a mouse soccer game? No. It's a actual human boy soccer. I don't know why I said a human boy soccer. It's a human boy soccer game. Stuart Little's going to a human boy. You know how you just go to a human boy soccer game? So Stuart Little hits up the human boy soccer game, and the mother is kind of concerned that Stuart Little might, get demolished because there's little kids running and there's a soccer ball. And it's like, what if Stuart Little gets demolished, right? Yeah. What if he got demolished?
Man, this is the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I can't even remember the last time I was even sad. Oh hey, Billy! How's it going, man? How's life treating you? Life's been the best it's ever been. Ever since Stuart Little died. My marriage, it's the best it's ever been. Dude, that's so great. I'm so happy for you, man. Want to spoon feed each other lime jello for 3 hours straight?
But that, that's not going to happen because he's a powerful little being. So Stuart Little gets on the field and the mom is concerned because he might, die. And she's like, we should take him off. This is really harmful to him. And the dad's like, no, that's embarrassing, right? To our son, taking him off the field, that's so embarrassing. And it's like, do you want him to get killed? Because I do, honestly. So like, if you wanna help me out, you can tell me like some more weaknesses. Was it the soccer ball that the mother was concerned that was gonna kill him, or was it like the soccer cleats? I'll put both because I think those are equally gonna do something. But of course, Stuart actually plays soccer and doesn't get destroyed. He actually scores a goal. So what can he do? I don't know. And then he survives a plane crash as well. So Stuart, he's just. And as Stuart crashes his plane in smithereens, the dad wants to give him the talk.
Honey, why don't you take the boys home? I think Stuart and I need to have a little talk.
The talk, which is the worst, possible timing ever. Like, your son almost died, and you're like, you want to talk to him about sex? Are you kidding me right now? And in a public park too?
He treats me like a baby.
Well, Stuart, do you actually want to know where those come from? You see, your mother and I... We cut back to Stuart Little in his class. I don't know what class, because the teacher just says random nonsense that literally makes no sense.
And Canada is separate from the United States because Canadians like to be alone.
So Stuart, he's trying to make plans with people in his class, but of course, they're scared of Stuart's full potential, that he is a mass murderer, because you know what happened last week? That was kind of a doozy. Even George, he's like, I don't want to hang out with you, dude. Probably because he's wearing this literally sick outfit. Do you see? I want to rock that. That looks so cool. And the reason why Stuart is doing this, because the dad's telling him, like, you just should make a friend. Just make a friend, okay? How about you make a friend? How about you get some actual friends, okay? And it's not that easy, they're not just gonna fall out of the sky. I guess Stuart can get literally whatever he wants at any point of his life. So Stuart befriends this bird named Margalo, who, after knowing her for like less than an hour, he just lets her stay at his house for like a week or two. And the little family's like, yep, that's cool. And they're like, well, I think Stuart wants to be more than friends with this bird.
Well, I don't think Stuart thinks of her as a friend.
What do you mean?
I mean, he's smitten. He's infatuated. He's bedazzled.
I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Just for that, I think this could be another way that we could kill him. I'll just put that he's so down bad. he will simp for birds that will fly out of the sky for him. That's just kind of a loose concept. We might have to fully flesh that one out, but it's just kind of a working idea right now. So in the first movie, we find out that there's a cat mafia, a mouse mafia, but now a new addition to the animal kingdom mafia is the bird mafia. Because that's right, Margalo, who you think is just a regular bird, is actually not just a regular bird, who's actually part of the bird mafia. Because she's being controlled by the villain of the movie, who's a falcon, whose name is also Falcon. And the reason why Margalo's ordered by the Falcon to seduce Stuart Little is because they want the mother's necklace. That's right, the whole plot of this movie revolves around the necklace. Before we get on, I'm extremely sorry. I said it was a necklace. It's actually a ring. I'm truly sorry about my past actions, and I try to further improve on them. And so Margalo and Stuart Little, they have a fun time. Stuart Little, apparently he can do do drop-ins on a half pipe that's actually like a bird bath, that's honestly kind of sick. However, Stuart wants a relationship, but Margalo straight up just leaves because she's actually a gold digger who just took the necklace and left. The movie also follows that trope where it's like the character's away, but we have to cover up that he's gone. Because Stuart Little leaves the house because he's on search to find Margalo, who he doesn't know is a massive gold digger. And George and his friend have to cover up that Stuart's gone. And it goes on for way too long. Oh, what's that? Stuart's actually at my house. Oh, Stuart's at your house? Okay, can I speak to your mother? Yeah, she's dead. Yeah, so you can't talk to her. Okay, did she see Stuart Little before she died? No. Stuart eventually finds Margot and is just extremely heartbroken that she played him. He got played. Boom! Dude got freaking played. He goes on this revenge path. He takes the damaged plane and then he adds trash to it and then he upgrades it. Stuart Little is just unbelievably godlike at everything, and not in a good way. In a scary way, because he ends up taking down the Falcon. They do some airborne fight sequences that actually inspired Christopher Nolan to do those fight sequences in Dunkirk. The mother's necklace actually also comes into play, not only to show that Margalo's a massive gold digger, but to show that Stuart Little can do whatever he wants and he can take down whoever he wants, because he shines the necklace into the Falcon's eyes and then he falls into a trash can. So it's the end of the day. It's a big hooray moment for Stuart Little because he gets the girl, Margalo. But then she flies out because she's like, I'm actually a massive gold digger. Okay, peace out. She gets on out of there. Stuart's kind of sad, but, you know, he's got family. Like Vin Diesel says.
I don't have friends. I got family.
So what's the Falcon up to? He's actually in a trash can. And then we see this cat who's been in both of these movies, but he just kind of does nothing. And even though this cat, I've barely mentioned him, there's something about this cat, something about the voice actor that I feel like is just, something's just, I feel like I know this voice actor. Steve Zahn. That's right. Frank Heffley himself. And of course, Steve goes Zahn mode. I could sense the Zahn mode just emulating from this one specific cat. I knew it. So Steve Zahn could be our way to kill Stuart Little. But unfortunately, I found out that everyone that signs on to be part of the Stuart Little movies has to sign a contract that they're not going to kill or harm Stuart Little. So yeah, I guess there's no way. There's no way we're going to be able to do anything, okay? So, you know, we'll just, you know, everything that I've worked up to is just gone, okay? Everything, you know, okay? That's not even a cool poster at all. Just, I'm trying to be more destructive to make it seem more dramatic. I'll take this one down too. Yeah, I guess I'm done, okay? I'm done. After weeks with no clear way of how to kill Stuart Little, it all seemed hopeless. Until I found someone who could help us. And that someone was Stuart Little's manager. Now, if I could kidnap Stuart Little's manager, someone who has been with Stuart throughout the years, I could find out what Stuart's true weakness was. So I got in contact with Stuart's manager and pretended that I was a travel representative and that he actually won a trip for two to Jamaica and that I needed to speak with him immediately. After that, I extensively trained for hours for the big moment where I had to kidnap this man because everything had to go perfectly to my plan. He said he could only meet up in the woods because that was his favorite spot to be. And before I knew it, I had kidnapped him.
You're me? Yes, I am you. I don't understand. I thought I was gonna be speaking to the manager of my arch nemesis. And you are. You are your own arch nemesis. No, this can't be real. I've had multiple nightmares of Stuart Little. I've seen all of the movies to study, to prepare for this moment. No, you haven't. You've just projected your worst fears into a tiny anthropomorphic mouse. The thing is, Stuart Little isn't even a real movie or a real book. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner your pain will go away. You're being for real right now? I'm for real, bro. You did it. You're right. I did it.
Ay, oh, ay, oh.